Hey YouTube, this is the Robinhood Investor. Hope you had a great week of trading. As always, I really appreciate your support, so if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to learn about investing, subscribe to this channel. Today I'm talking about Amazon stock, which reported earnings this past week, currently priced at $3,157 per share. Make sure you stick to the end of the video for my opinion on this stock. So past year, it's been up 68%, past 5 years, up 498%. So in terms of my holdings, I currently have $12,630 in market value, which makes up 4.54% of my portfolio, and I'm up 166% on this position. Market cap is $1.58 trillion. P ratio is 145, and dividend yield is 0, which means they're reinvesting all profits back into growth. Scrolling down a bit, you can see a lot of analysts give it a buy rating. That's at 92% of them out of 49 analysts. Now, in terms of actual earnings, you can see that actual earnings per share was $10.30, which beat expected earnings per share. So $10.30 versus $1.46, which is a drastic, strong beat. So what Amazon does in terms of business, they engage in online retail shopping services as well as Amazon Web Services. So a lot of growth potential in those segments, and because of recent climate as well as the macroeconomic level, a lot of demand has been in the online space, both retail as well as web services, to build up those online businesses. Taking a look at the actual earnings, you can see this is Q2 20 financial results from the slides. So free cash flow up 27% year over year, which is a very solid jump. So 31 billion, I believe this is, $31 billion. In terms of free cash flow, less principal repayments of finance and financing obligations, up 32% year over year, which is also really good. In terms of free cash flow, less equipment, finance leases, and principal repayments of all other finance leases and financing obligations, up 50% year over year, which is really strong. Shares, you can see that it's pretty constant relative in terms of previous quarters. Now, net sales, this is a very strong growth, up 40% year over year, 41% FX adjusted. So that's very solid double-digit growth year over year in terms of net sales. Net sales trailing 12 months, you can see that it's up 28% year over year and up 28% FX adjusted. So this is a very good trend upwards. You can see quarter after quarter, very good trend. Now for net sales, you can see North America makes up 62%. International makes up 26%, and AWS makes up 12%. So majority of it is in e-commerce, and then there's a portion of it that goes to their Amazon Web Services. For operating income, you can see it's up 89% year over year, which is also very strong growth. And I think that's because of the current climate, macroeconomic operating income, trailing 12 months, up 12% year over year. Net income up 100% year over year, which is insane triple digit growth. So you can see relative to previous quarter, it's almost doubled, but year over year, you can see it's definitely double from 2.6 billion to 5.2 billion. Segment results, so you can see the breakdown. This is North America specifically. Net sales up 43% year over year. And the thing about Amazon is they have a strong e-commerce. They dominate the e-commerce online transactions in North America, and that grew 43% year over year net sales. Operating income up 37% year over year. Net sales is $197.9 billion. For international, you can see up 38% year over year. So good to see that international growth outside of the domestic market. Operating income loss, you can see it's also at 345 million. Net sales 83.9 billion. And Amazon Web Services, you can see Net sales up 29% year over year, also great double-digit growth. Operating income up 58% year over year. So that's their slide deck that they presented at their earnings. Now in terms of you can see for annual, you can see the solid revenue and earnings growth quarter or year after year. Now in terms of quarter, you can see Q2 2020 was pretty consistent with it's pretty similar to Q4 of 2019, and usually the fourth quarter is the strongest, and this second quarter, most recent one, was just as strong as that. So great to see that kind of growth. For analysts, analysis recommendation 1.7, so it's almost a strong buy, so it's between strong buy and buy. Analyst price targets, currently it's at $3,164 per share, but the average price target is $3,117, so slightly above the price targets. I think it's pretty close to that. So for the key stats, you can see for trailing PE, that's 121. Forward price to earnings is 83, so slightly better than before. The fact that they're earning more, I think that price is justified. PEG ratio, it's a bit high, but considering that Amazon has a lot of growth potential in web services as well as e-commerce, I think that's you have to pay the price to get that kind of growth. 52-week change, it definitely beat the market of S&P 500. Scrolling down a bit, you can see institutions, about 57.69% own this stock. Scrolling down a bit, they don't pay out any dividends, so all their profits are reinvested back into growth. Scrolling down, you can see profit margin. They are profitable. Profit margin of 4.1%, operating margin of 5.2%. Management effectiveness, so the return on assets is 4.65%, and return on equity is 20.79%. For the revenue, they have $321 billion. Revenue growth, you can see it's 40.2%. Gross profit of almost $15 billion. Earnings before interest, tax, depreciation, and amortization, that's $39.57 billion. Net income of $13.18 billion. Quarterly earnings growth is 99.7%, so very strong growth. Balance sheet, they have a solid cash position at $71 billion. You want to have a larger cash position to maintain your position during these tough times, tough macro trends. So great to see that kind of cash. Their total debt is $91.4 billion. Debt to equity is 123.97. So for every dollar equity they have $123 in debt. Current ratio 1.18. Operating cash flow is $51 billion, and lever free cash flow is $33 billion. So overall, this is another growth story. They have strong growth in all their segments, from AWS to North America, domestic, as well as international, e-commerce. So growth in all segments. It's a bit pricey, even if you buy fractional shares, it's really pricey. I plan to continue holding my equity in Amazon just because I have such a strong total return at 166%. Don't plan on continue adding any more, and also have exposure to it through my index funds, so plan to continue holding those as well, because I think Amazon is the future of e-commerce and web services, and they have a lot of potential upside in growth, so gonna hold these for long term. That's all for the video. What are your thoughts on Amazon? Comment down below. Remember to use my referral links below, and both of us get $20 for using personal capital or a free stock for using Robinhood. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and if you want to learn about investing, subscribe to this channel. See you in the next video.